Keep an eye on shares of Hawaiian Electric. They had been down more than 60% prior to today. At one point on the day, they rallied 17%, and then they were recently halted after a report by the Wall Street Journal that the company is in talks with restructuring firms. Those shares now have resumed trading and down about 7% on the day. Jaimin Patel joining us right now over at Bloomberg Intelligence. Jaimin, there's been a lot of talk about the potential liabilities that Hawaiian Electric might have related to those wildfires out in Maui. The idea here that they could be in talks with restructuring firms already. What does that signal to you?
So I think it's a little bit early. The fact that, we saw this report from the Wall Street Journal that they are in talks, maybe it's just in preparation, as opposed to, for them to just look and see what their options are. That doesn't necessarily mean anything's going to happen immediately, but my bigger concern from the credit perspective is that we had a downgrade from S&P, and then we may see one from Moody's and Fitch follow in the days to come, pretty much like we had with PG&E.
Yeah, that brings me to my next question is how much of an analog is PG&E here for what could happen to Hawaiian Electric, or are investors just kind of assuming that that's the path it'll follow?
Yeah, so I think from an equity standpoint, it may be a lot more similar than you're seeing from a debt standpoint. From a debt standpoint, with PG&E, you had the parent bonds up at PG&E, and then the majority of the bonds were down at the utility level, Pacific Gas and Electric. Over here, it's not very clear exactly how much debt there is and where. We're looking at the K, and then we looked at the Q, and we see a significant amount of muni debt. We see very little in the way of actual bonds, trading bonds, publicly traded corporate bonds at the utility level. And then you've got a significant amount of taxable senior notes. So in total, I think we're looking at about $2.6 billion on a consolidated basis. That includes the trading parent, but only about 1.6, 1.7 down sort of at the utility levels and the utility holding company. So it's somewhat smaller, maybe a little bit simpler.
Okay, it's something to keep in mind there.